Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to the alpha for Warhammer 40k Dark Heresy, where today Ursamus is now confessing at the bottom of a corpse-strewn pit, so we turn our eyes towards other sarcophagi, namely one Saint Sibelius, whose tomb we're currently standing in, though recent revelations may imply that he was slightly less saintly than previously assumed. You know, I wish I could say I was surprised. That just seems to be kind of a recurring theme in Warhammer 40k. Let's see what we can find. I mean, obviously there's something here they want us to see. And immediate lore object. All right. Let's see what we've got. Ancient Scripture. I, a man of many flaws and sorrowful mind, dare to recount the life of his most holy warrior, Sibelius the Infallible, who fell by a traitor's hand for our salvation. He was born of a mother of great wisdom and an ever-righteous father, and was raised by them in love for the Emperor, our God, beloved by all and in hatred of the despised other, who forever plots. For long years, by faith, loyalty, and gleaming steel, he served Drusus the warrior and Golgana Angevin in their endless and righteous crusade, which liberated and united hundreds of worlds. There was no warrior stronger than Sibelius, save for Drusus the warrior himself, and no commander more far-seeing, save for Golgana Angevin. In his wisdom, Sibelius the Infallible turned his gaze upon an unfortunate world, dying under the heel of the other, and with the brilliance of his spirit, he heard the lamentations of the people of Scintilla, and he hurled himself into the fray with all the fury that filled his righteous heart. Armed with the fire of sacred promethium and a sword gleaming brightly in hand, Sibelius the Infallible slew the abominable others, who gorged on the pain and bones of the righteous. He burnt to ash the memory of them, their deeds and iniquities, and raised his banner over his city. All who beheld that banner became filled with piety and reverence for the saint, and knelt under his hand. When the last other fell and the wind of Scintilla erased its name forever, Sibelius the Infallible turned his blazing gaze upon the reprobates hiding amongst the common folk. With a hand both stern and just, he rooted out the smallest sprouts of doubt and frailty, which, like worms, gnawed at the foundations of loyalty. Thousands of the wretched and faithless fell before his cleansing gaze. And thus came the hour of prosperity. But the wicked souls, harboring a black envy for the saint, knew no peace. Weary from his righteous labors, Sibelius was filled with contentment, and in his benevolence he allowed the penitent to approach him. The heretics, concealed behind masks of contrition, drove a blade into the saint's heart, and thus he fell, beloved by all. He was interred in the city to which he had been savior and protector, and a sea of tears shed for him spread around his tomb. I don't know, man. I feel like the part where he turned on the population of his own world and slew thousands of them might be slightly linked to why people later turned on him and killed him. But, you know, who knows? Maybe he was, in fact, a super great guy. Sibelius the Infallible and or Stern. Perhaps we'll find more lore objects lying around to provide us with further context. A thick layer of blood on the table's surface is covered in a web of cracks. The cloying stench of decay hangs heavy in the air. Minor goods, nothing of note. Beneath the wounds on the prisoner's skin, you recognize the electus of Millis Antilia's workers. Okay, which does more or less confirm who, in fact, took them. Though I do notice that didn't update our clue board. Feels like a pretty major oversight. Also, this. The passage is buried beneath stone rubble. There is no way back. Oh, great. Well, gosh, I guess we'll just have to go deeper then, won't we? A thin crust of ice glistens on the stones, a sure sign of a recent surge of warp energy. The source of the corruption must be nearby. You don't say. I mean, assuming it wasn't Confessor Ursimus. I think we've got a pretty good idea of what that source might be. Honestly, the first thing my mind goes to is like a Halo device, something similar. Feels like it would be pretty fitting for someone like Sibelius to fall prey to such a device. Oh, I mean, come on. Sarcophagus wrapped in heavy chains. This room's not for Ogryns. Too small. You're right, mate. If there's an ambush, we'd be at a disadvantage. I don't like this place either. Wall covered in purity symbols. And a skeletonized corpse. Warden's Revelations. I thought to be chosen to guard the tomb of St. Sibelius was an honor. But this place is not holy. It is alive. The walls whisper, the stone breathes, and the crystal speaks inside my head. I have learned the truth. St. Sibelius fell at the hands of his followers. A heretic, a traitor. This is his prison, and I am its inmate. We are not keepers of a memory. We are jailers, wardens. The crystal calls. It screams, weeps, howls with familiar voices. Which of these thoughts are my own? Forgive me, Emperor. Forgive us all. I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Well, maybe not that shocked. So what else have we got in here? Feels like we should save the sarcophagus for last. The cracked mid-screen shows no signs of life. The ancient machine is now little more than a tangle of wires and rusty cogs. The solid metal door has neither locks nor bolts. At its base, the sight of rust-streaked scratches tells of someone's futile attempt to claw their way out. Reassuring. Castellan's Ring. Whenever the wearer uses an officer ability on a heroic ally, this ally gains plus 10% damage reduction for 1 round. Does not stack. I mean, I've got to say, it sounds pretty underwhelming, but also we don't have any ring slot items, so sure, why not? Though I'm absolutely certain we'll find better things later in the campaign. There's our key. Lore object. And a coffer. The writings of the eminent Balthazar. When I first saw him, St. Sibelius, he was radiant. His standard fluttered above the battlefield, and every sweep of his blade turned foes to dust. I served at his tent. I prayed at his boots. Then the crystal appeared. It glowed differently, with a sinister light. I could swear that near it my thoughts were not my own. I begged the saint to shatter the stone, but he took it as a trophy from the field of battle, and kept it always with him. He spoke to it. We believed our saint was hearing the voice of the Emperor, but we were wrong. Saint Sibelius changed. His gaze grew vacant, his voice turned cold. His purifications became ever more bloodthirsty. His righteous fury knew no exceptions. He destroyed settlements on the slightest suspicion of heresy. He spilled the blood of servants who were too slow. He burned regiments in their barracks for hesitating to pledge fealty. He claimed it was the Emperor's will. We remained silent, at first out of fear, later out of guilt. When it became clear that Sibelius was but a shell of the saint he had been, we gathered in the night, 3 of his closest disciples. We poisoned his food, and when he was weakened, we drove a dagger into the back of our beloved Lord, our teacher. He died in agony. We locked his body, his standard, and the cursed crystal within the sarcophagus. We sealed the chamber so that none would ever learn the true story of Saint Sibelius, of how he lost the war against the darkness. We wrote a legend. We made him a martyr, a hero, a symbol. Because the truth is more terrible than heresy. And we became his wardens, so that history might never repeat itself. If the Emperor judges us, we shall accept our punishment. Right. So maybe not a Halo device, but something thematically similar. A whispering crystal, very Lovecraftian. Also a bundle of sacred candles with no description. Interesting. Oh, wait. Okay, well hold on. We've got this over here. Also something a bit further out, but I suspect that's Ursimus's floating loot drop. Are we not? Oh, okay, I see. Shuriken Pistol of Suffering. Fun, but not really useful to us since we don't currently have Larthier with us, and honestly, even if we did, he's not great with ballistics. But yeah, we couldn't interact with that container until we explicitly moved the light over it. Which is an interesting mechanic. I mean, it does make things more immersive, but also a whole lot more obnoxious. If we're going to canvas this entire area. And yeah, that's Ursimus's stuff out there. That is also annoying. Though I suppose not the end of the world. Maybe it'll still give it to us when we try to leave. Rusty chains, held together by locks, clamped down on the lid of the sarcophagus containing the sacred remains. At the foot of the sarcophagus, you see a frayed tome. Seeing the sarcophagus of an ancient saint sealed tight with locks and chains don't exactly fill me with optimism. Sorrow's expression, which was radiating religious awe a moment ago, instantly changes at the sight of the chained sarcophagus. What is this? Saint's blood. This isn't the tomb of a righteous man. It's a sealed prison. In a single glance at the first lines of the tome, you recognize it for what it is. Instructions for operating an ancient defense system designed to prevent entry to what is encased behind a thick layer of stone and plasteel. After reading through the steps for disabling the locking mechanisms, described as the seals of eternal service by the author, and lubricating the locks by melting the candles of redemption, you finally come across a tech litany, but not a single sign of reverence toward the saint interred in the sarcophagus. Yeah, I mean, at this point you're really just kind of belaboring the point. I think we've got a pretty good idea of what this guy was really about. But I'm also not seeing any other obvious ways out of here, so I guess we go in. Painfully, slowly, something begins to turn inside the ancient locking mechanism. At last, you hear a click. You light the candles, which immediately begin to melt and give off smoke. The translucent mass trickles down into the gaps in the sarcophagus, lubricating hidden mechanisms. The air fills with a heavy smell of sacred unguents. You speak the words of the litany while performing the manipulations it describes. You remove 2 of the purity seals and press the hidden buttons underneath. Then touch the skulls in order, causing something within the sarcophagus to start whirring. And, lastly, place your hand on the aquila. As the final word of the litany resounds, the aquila under your hand slides down into the base of the tomb. And ancient, time-forgotten mechanisms stir to life. Inside the sarcophagus lie the decayed remains of Saint Sibelius. The corpse's fingers are clutching the pole of a folded banner lying at its side. Serving as the finial adornment on the pole is a crystal that emits a strange glow. The longer you look at it, the stronger the feeling grows that whatever this finial piece may be, it contains power. The kind of power that will serve only someone willing to risk everything to possess it. That's probably fine. Raakti's quills rise and begin to rattle in a threat display, her claws scratching anxiously at the floor. This is a bad thing, Hunter. It reeks of the forbidden, as do those whom the Shapers declare inedible. Destroy it, or leave. Yeah, good call. One strike, then another, 5 strikes, and the sinister finial shatters into a blinding crystal spray. For just a moment, you think you see the corpse let out a weak sigh of relief before a thick haze enshrouds you. A sharp pain explodes in your temple, and you find yourself short of breath, as if the corruption released from the crystal is trying to choke you. After a few long moments, you begin to regain your senses, and suddenly realize you are no longer in the Shrine of Sibelius. Darkness imprisoning me. All that I see, absolute horror. Cannot live, cannot die, trapped in myself. As once sung by the ancient scholars. Photoreactive crystalline structures have been detected. Intense illumination will trigger a responsive light reaction. Cool, yeah, I'm sure that's fine too. Thanks for shedding light. Acolyte, you are in the realm of 7665:6. Focus, find 4627?8. Do not look at the reflections, Acolyte. Uh-huh. Boy, oh boy, this is just getting finer all the time. I mean, to be fair, we haven't gone like full Call of Cthulhu just yet. This is creepy, but I wouldn't say it's like a Euclidean nightmare. Okay. And there's our exit, but what's going on back here? What was up with the first crystal? Also, I notice our, like, directional light source seems to have actually gone out. Yeah, nothing back here. Alright, okay, I guess we'll just go on the preordained path. Hey, and look at that. Reliable lasgun. I'm gonna guess that's probably what Confessor Ursimus dropped. He was rocking a rifle, he just never actually used it. So what fresh nightmare are we walking into now? Oh. Okay, you know the thing I said about non-Euclidean nightmares? I think we might be there. With considerable effort, you manage to focus your attention on the servo ossuarium. The servo skulls swivel toward you, noticing the movements of your head. The binaric trill that reaches your ears is interspersed with strange noises. Where are we? The servo herald is silent for almost a solid minute before it responds. Surroundings analysis unavailable. Great, fine. Just patch in my companions, or the ship. Anyone. I just need to get my bearings. The servo ossuarium gives off a clicking sound before it finally turns on the communication channel. You are stunned by all the screeching and rumbling of the interference. A wave of your hand is enough for the servo skull to turn the box off. But the horrible sound still echoes in your ears, increasingly resembling distorted screams of agony. The Auspex. A map. Show me a map. Show me anything. It takes you a few moments to realize that the Auspex's readings are at odds with what you can see. Your equipment alternates between ignoring all objects around you and detecting dozens of moving entities. Check your archives. How did I get here? Find me a navigation point, something I can use to work my way back. The helpfully displayed hololithic grid shows you the only thing you can orient by. An immensely powerful energy source located somewhere beyond your vision. The other readings on the map shift and fluctuate, but the energy source remains constant. Okay, I guess that'll have to do. Let's see where this goes. Sorrow! 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 Sorrow. You know what this kind of reminds me of is the infinite stairway in Wrath of the Righteous in Aurilu's lab. Sorrow! Sorrow! I suspect... Oh, yeah, look at that. A peony. Peony. Just need to inject the compound. I'll just fall asleep. No pain, no fear. Just need to find a good spot. Okay, I'm not loving the sound of that. You good? A peony? Where? Okay. Bye. Bye, I guess. Bye. Sorrow! Sorrow. Where'd you go, bud? There you are. Sorrow. God, Emperor, do not forsake me on this path. Grant me the fury and strength to pass through this loathsome, demon-spawned place. My man. An empty place. A bad wind. The earth smells of fear and pain. We must leave. Rakti. Good head on those shoulders. That's why I like you. Who else we got? Cog? Haymar? Larthier, on the off chance you're out here somewhere? I suppose this also kind of reminds me of the astral sequence in Baldur's Gate 3, though of course that was a lot more high fantasy compared to the very heavy eldritch vibes we're getting here. Haymar. Boy, take me. What is this place? Haymar? Okay. Bye. But what of my boy Cog? And to a lesser extent, Larthier. Oh. Hi, you were not there just a second ago. Okay, well, right, yeah, not sure what I was thinking there. Okay, no Cog. I'm sure that's fine. Let's see what we've got over here. Inquisitor Leander de Taral stands in front of you. He looks exactly like he did on the day you last saw him alive. Nothing in his appearance reminds you of the tragedy that took his life. Aratus and Persephone, who stand next to Taral, look just as they did that fateful day aboard Shaltis's Valor. Exhausted, frightened, and angry. Greetings, Acolyte. Your comrades asked me for this meeting. I couldn't turn down their request, even though I had to wait for the right moment for this conversation to take place. Taral, You're dead. I saw you die. I mean, in theory. How is that an excuse for not fulfilling one's duty to the Golden Throne? That is not what I taught you. And neither is it a mark of a true agent of the Tyrantine Cabal. Right, of course. And what exactly is it that we needed to, talk about? Oh, nothing much. Just to see what kind of merit earned you this special treatment from the Cabal. Traitor. I mean, I'm gonna guess it's because I'm the only one who survived. You're all dead? Quiet. I'm not done speaking. The ice of millennia glints into Tarl's eyes as he turns his gaze to you. Do you remember Shaltis's valor, Acolyte? Do you remember standing at the crossroads? You mean when I chose my duty over saving your life? Yeah, that does kind of ring a bell. It's all so convenient when you can betray your comrades without a second thought. You'll do anything to curry favor with the Cabal. Datarl raises his hand for silence, and the specters obey, frozen in place, staring off into the distance with their lifeless eyes. Well, you survived. You've got what you wanted. You've seen how everything turned out. So tell me, Acolyte, knowing the consequences, would you go back and make a different choice? His gaze sears what feels like the very depths of your soul. You lock eyes with your mentor. The image wavers and stretches as if splitting at the seams. And suddenly it becomes obvious. No, this is neither the product of a delirious mind, nor a chance hallucination. It is a facade crafted by someone, and whatever lies beneath it now knows that you have seen through the masquerade. The abyss staring back at you through foreign eyes, grins in response. You have me trapped here, so I have no choice but to play along for now. But don't think you have me fooled. Not even for a second. Suddenly, Datarl breaks into laughter that sounds nothing like him. Well then, go and answer my question with your actions. The path of remorse or the path of pride? Make a choice. One you don't even believe in yourself. Okay, maybe I will, but not because you told me to. Because I have no other choice. I do have a choice of doors, so I guess we'll just start cycling through them one by one. Okay. More floating platforms. Very deliberate shapes. I wonder if this is supposed to be reminiscent of something we might have seen back in the prologue we didn't get to play. Almost like runes or sigils. A door from within the Bastion Serpentis that does not belong here. It is typically secured by a lock that opens with special rings. Okay, so we have to go find some special rings. Oh, accept the inevitable. Yeah, alright. I mean, again, it doesn't really feel like we've got much choice. Accepting the inevitable does feel inevitable. Especially given that our path back to the ship seems to have vanished. Man, this is getting pretty trippy. Ah, I see. Okay. So is there any rhyme or reason to what paths this seems to build? Oh, hi there. Sir? No response. They seem to have lost their head. Possibly where we'll find our ring? If we can actually get over there. Which this is not leading us toward. Okay. So that opened up two paths. One in either direction. This is back in the direction we came from. But if we click it now... Yeah, okay, so that takes us back to where we were, I think. Right. Okay, so each stone does seem linked to specific paths. They're not variable, at least not from what we're seeing. Ma'am? You good? I feel like that's like a freeze frame of a catastrophic chainsword fumble. Hi. Oh, and there we go. Ring key. Plus 10 interrogation and diplomacy. Fantastic, we'll take it. Which might get us through that door, but in theory, we've still got that other body over yonder. So we should try to find our way to that as well, just in case we need to. Or, you know, just to get whatever's on it. I'm not going to leave loot lying on the non-Euclidean table. Oh, there we go. Crystallized Aquila. Whenever the wearer uses push, they gain plus fail degradation defense against melee attacks until the start of their next turn. Very fiddly. Don't see us getting much use out of that. And let's head back to the door before we mess with the unusually large crystal there. Since something about that big one really, Oh. We've got another corpse, or at least half of one. How do we get over to that one? There we are. You were definitely not there before. The upper half of an Adeptus Mechanicus tech priest. Judging by the trails and the dust, the tech priest crawled some distance after losing their lower half. Oh, that's the other half of the tech priest we found at the excavation site. Interesting. Which means this is where all the material vanishing in those strange circular depressions. This is where it's all going. Which might also explain why those other random corpses are missing their heads. The second half of the body was found in the strange ruins beneath Marisportum. I'm not sure that's entirely accurate. I don't think we're still in those ruins, but I guess the jury's still out on that one. Tremor. Grinding from within the skull. Extracted through the nose. Hailing the Bastion Serpentis. Come in, this is Echo. Can anyone hear me? Through the hum of interference, you hear faint singing. The words are indistinct, yet something within you tightens in fear. The crackle of nails is a melody, the hue of fragility, the pallor of bone laid bare in a wound, eternity together. Uh-huh. Okay, well, I mean, I'm not seeing any negative effects. I should probably still stop listening to Warp FM. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, look at that. It's definitely the real Septima and Millicentilia. Surely they're both here and inexplicably standing amidst piles of corpses. This does seem very real. Consider me completely bamboozled. The more distant shapes are interesting, almost kind of an aquatic, like marine life feel to them. The Sister Septima and Millicentilia standing before you are disturbingly unlike how you last saw them. The Sister of Battle is coated in a layer of dried blood and resembles a granite statue. Only her burning eyes and labored breathing reveal the living human beneath. The Inquisitor opposite seems not to notice the mound of corpses that separates the women. Her gaze is cast far away, toward other realms and realities. Acolyte, finally you have arrived. Seize your weapon. The hour has come to deliver the cleansing flame to this den of heresy. Septima does not speak, but rather growls, like an enraged creature. Millicentilia's voice, in contrast, is clear and empty, like gauze on the wind. What nonsense this fanatic speaks. It makes no difference what becomes of the city above these ruins. All that matters is what lies here. Uh-huh. And what exactly is it I'm supposed to be looking at here? Purification! Purification for the glory of the God Emperor! The entire Hab Zone is mired in wickedness, and the shrine of Sibelius lies besmirched by corruption. I have stripped them of their temple, their lives, and any chance of redemption. Only the sacred flame can cleanse this corruption. Burning that which you cannot comprehend. How predictable and foolish. You only need to look closer and open your mind, and you will find the truth. It is here, beneath the soil of Scintilla, waiting for us to accept it. Sister, are you feeling all right? You seem a bit over the top, even for you. She is consumed by anger and locked inside her dogmatic beliefs. She has built a cage around her mind and calls it a fortress. I mean, you're not wrong. And how about you, Mills? What are you supposed to be? Hi? Leave her be, Acolyte. This heretic sold her soul to the accursed Xenos buried here. Right, I'll bet. So let me guess, I'm supposed to make another choice? Both women fix their eyes upon you. The heat of promethium blends with the detached chill of plasteel. Alright, I'll bite. Sister Septima. Let's start with you. A single muscle flickers on Septima's face. Even so, she eases her weapon down a fraction. So what exactly is it you're expecting me to do? Kill all the people in Mirasportum, I assume? That seems pretty on brand. Yes, to burn everything to ash. Heretics, their homes, their heritage, their filth and depravity. For centuries they have dwelt upon land cursed by Xenos. Foul soil has borne corrupted growth. All right, sister, I'm not sure you really read up on the source material here, but I feel like your normal righteous zeal is more born of a desire to save Calixis from itself as opposed to just burning everything down. You want to maybe run that by me again? Give it another go? For a fraction of a second, the warrior's face cycles through a string of expressions, as though struck by a convulsion. The carefully laid facade collapses, revealing the puppet's core. They all deserve to die in torment. I will burn them all of them. I will cleanse this world of its corruption. Cool. You have fun with that. So, Millie, how about you? What? Did you say something? Yeah, I was just wondering what you were going to try to talk me into. Something about the truth? Millicentilia turns her gaze to you, and you see that her eyes are veiled by a crystalline film. The truth of those who lived here before us. They knew that nothing of value exists in the present. All of existence strives for the future, and only there, beyond the familiar, is there anything to seek or to desire. There is the triumph of humanity. There is the healing from all diseases and misfortunes. All that happens here and now is meaningless. Come with me. We will cross an ocean of time and be there, far away. Really? Ignore the present, focus on the future? Wow, it's like you're not even trying on that one. Never really saw Millie as a starry-eyed dreamer, wistfully wishing for the perfect future without being willing to work towards it. What? The nerve! The Inquisitor's face contorts with an anger stripped of its usual sarcasm. Her snarl has nothing in common with the woman you know. The counterfeit attempts to play the part, but does not succeed. You dare to remind me of something fundamental? The audacity! I will decide what to do with you later. Yeah, I'm sure you will. So how much longer are we going to do this? Like, clearly you're not fooling anyone. Your words are cut short by a faint shimmer that passes over reality. A crystalline ringing echoes in your skull and races down your spine. Both women stand motionless and quiver like projections on a hollow screen. How dare you say that? I am a sister of battle, his daughter and avenging sword of the faith. You are a pitiful insect, fancying yourself a great intellect. We will finish this dispute, irrespective of your opinion. Okay, well, good luck with that, I guess. But I've got to say, feels like you might be projecting a bit. Interesting. So basically the first choice was between duty and loyalty to your former master. And then this one was between the sister and Millicentilia. Path has changed again. Oh. Cool. All right, well, you know what? As amazing as this all is, we are running a bit long, so I feel like this might be a good place to call it. And I've also got to say, as intriguing as this is, I do already kind of miss the more grounded sort of grim, dark, sci-fi sort of detective work we were doing before.
But I don't hate it. I am curious to see where this goes. And I mean, obviously it ties back to the prologue, which we didn't get to play, but yeah, we'll hit the pause button for now and pick up here next time. See you then. You know, in the future. You can probably just ignore the present. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to EREV23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Rowan Church, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.